In. The Fluid Logic 225 is coming up next.
And welcome into Motor Mile Speedway, the Fluid Logic 225 presented by Food Country USA. The sun beginning to set, the lights are coming on. We are sorted and ready and good to go for a fantastic night of racing here tonight. I want to say welcome to those of you watching in our social media free preview. We've got them all over the place, from Twitch to Facebook to Twitter. We're going to give you something a little different here tonight on the free teaser. Hope to have you aboard as a subscriber. With that said, those of you in the grandstands, please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your hats as we get set to honor both God and country. First, with our invocation from Series Chaplain, the Reverend Joe Lewis, followed by our national anthem from Mr. Keith Porter.
Lord, as we hear the thundering cars behind us from the drag strip, we know that you speak in a loud, thundering voice at times, and sometimes you talk in a smiling, silent voice, a whisper. But Father, tonight we're asking you, with all our hearts, all our might, would you protect us? Would you keep us safe? Would you have us have a good entertainment night, good racing, and most of all, the winner would be proud the way he did it. Thank you for our country. Bless our country. In Jesus' name, amen.
And if you remain standing for the performance of our national anthem by Mr. Keith Porter.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And just like that, we're about ready to go racing. So we asked who wants to give the command to fire engines. And what's your name?
Hannah.
Hannah, you ever done this before?
No.
So what presumed, I saw your hand was like the first one to go up. What possessed you to volunteer for this job?
I'm excited.
That's a good answer. I like that. So once they tell me in my ear that all those guys and gals are ready to go, you get to do your job. Okay. You know what you're saying, right? Perfect. Okay, good. Just want to make sure. We had it happen once where somebody went, I don't know, what am I supposed to say? All right, perfect. So you just hang tight right there. We'll make sure everybody's good to go. It sounds like, looks like I see window nets up, everything ready to go. We're going to make our way over here and make sure that everybody is. I see crew members making their way away from race cars, somebody up on the second row making a couple of final things. And once I get the okay from Danny Willard to Keely Dubinsky that we're good to go, then we will fire them up. So we're going to have Hannah come right up here. We'll bring you over here to say Luke Fenhaus. We're going to make this good for you. You get the whole thing. Okay. All right? You ever been to a Carster race?
Yes.
You have. Glad to have you as a fan. Thanks for coming. So we're going to put you right about here, and you get to watch him when you give these words. How's that sound? All right? So we'll get Mr. Camera Guy right over here, and I'm told it's all set to go. You're ready?
I'm ready.
You're good. Motor Mile, are you ready? They got a little bit of caffeine in them. Jazz them up a little bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines!
Welcome in, everybody, to Motor Mile Speedway. First race on deck is the Pro Late Model 100 lapper. We've got William Sawalich starting on the pole. Katie Hedinger, of course, starting second. How about Gavin Bichelle starting third? Usually runs on dirt, trying his shot at asphalt. Buddy Kofoid, another dirt guy, starting fifth. And Brent Cruz starting eighth. Whole bunch of dirt guys in here today, Tony. As you can see here, rounding out the field, we have Rusty Skews 11th, Garrett Smithley, Cup Star, starting 12th, Clark Houston 13th, Luke Morey 14th, Cody King 15th, Logan Jones 16th, and rounding out the field will be the 07 of Clint King, not the qualifying effort he wanted. As the field gets rolling around here at Motor Mile Speedway, really, really great command. The 62, William Hale, the 77, Ruben Caceres. Usually find him on the Carolina Pro Late Model Series Tour, trying his hand at Cars Tour competition.
Fun fact, there's 87 steps from the racetrack to this booth.
I can tell. I can tell.
I am not the young man I used to be. Yowzers. And there'll be somebody on social media that says you actually counted. Yes, this morning I actually counted.
I mean, when you have to go up them, you know, like 10 times, you're going to count them eventually.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Whew, boy. And the sad part is I signed up for hockey this week.
Wrong week.
Yeah, wrong week for that. You're not kidding. So on the field for the Pro Late Models continues to circulate, get some heat in the tires, and everything else. There's a lot of things to watch in this Pro Late Model race. Huge field, bunch of quality cars. And for more on what we can expect in this one, let's head down to our pit reporter, Mr. James Pike.
Thank you, Tony. Yeah, it's a really deep field in tonight's Pro Late Model event here at the Flugent Logic 225. And Kyle touched on it a little bit ago. Not only do we have a lot of dirt drivers with experience on that front, the Gavin Bichelles, the Buddy Kofoids, the Brent Cruz, they were all fast in practice. They're all starting in the top 10. Dare say this may be the deepest Pro Late Model field we've had all season long. And yes, William Sawalich might be on pole. He may have the fastest car here, but he's going to have to be all day. And Katie Hester and Ruben Gutierrez in order to get to the checker flag. This will be put out for tonight.
Thank you very much, Pike. And there you see Buddy Kofoid starting in the 5th spot inside of Austin McDonald. You're going to keep an eye on that 24K. There's Garrett Smithley in the 15, starting a little bit further back. He's pretty jacked up about this one. And by the way, free preview currently on his Twitch. I don't know who we're going to tell him to raid after we're done. But, guys, we're going to give you the first 25 laps or so of this one. If you like what you see, head to the address at the bottom of your frame in this MPM Marketing free preview. Of course, if you're into motorsports and need services, websites, press releases, representation, whatever it is, give Tanya and company a call. They'll take care of you. Marketwithmpm.com. Through turns 3 and 4, William Sawalich and Katie Hedinger lead the field through the KRC Power Steering Start Zone. Green flag is out, and the Fluid Logic 225 by Food Country USA is underway.
You see Sawalich,
Lap 1, William Sawalich over Katie Hedinger as Gavin Bichelle. And look at him fan out a little bit further back there behind him.
Gavin Bichelle having a battle here from Caden Kvapil. Caden trying to make that outside work early. Not going to be able to do it right now as you see Buddy Kofoid right behind him.
And very quickly, everybody trying to get single file. We see Luke Fenhaus back there on the bottom in that the black 96 car underneath of Brent Cruz. Fenhaus now being scored 7th. That's where he was slated to start this race and did start this race. Still not clear, though, and that's the thing about Motor Mile. You've got 2 distinct groups. You run 2, even 3. We've seen 4 wide here on rare occasions.
Oh, yeah, Motor Mile, 3-group track. Don't be surprised if we see 3 wide, and like you said, maybe even 4 wide later on tonight or in this race.
There you see the 62 of William Hale, driver formerly, well, I shouldn't say formerly, still is pretty regular at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. As you watch the field flash by our speed shot, you see everybody just kind of settling in for the opening portion of this race, trying to get their sea legs underneath them, if you will. But here right now is a story. Katie Hettinger and William Sawalich. Nobody has been able to do anything with William Sawalich this year, it feels like. And right now, Katie Hettinger has given him about the biggest end of the business we've seen so far early in a race this season. So she might be the one that upsets William Sawalich. Only time will tell, but would not surprise me to see that young lady get the job done. There's the other guy in the Highlands Motorsports Brigade, Luke Fenhaus. He's given some challenges to Sawalich. Still has yet to go to victory lane, but he now is trying to find a way around the 13 of Austin McDonald.
Well, you can see he already moved around Brent Cruz, and now he's looking on Austin McDonald. Fenhaus just waiting for that first win. He's come so close so many times this year, you just have to wonder, when is it going to happen? It's not a question of if, it's when.
Sometimes I start to wonder if a young driver like Fenhaus, who's won so many times in so many different places, especially in the Midwest, on such big races, that if it doesn't start to get in your head a little bit. I mean, he's been running some Midwest Tour stuff this season, been running a lot of stuff up at the Dells whenever he's able, and we don't have a conflict with Cars Tour. Also something you watch on Pit Road TV, the Alive for 5 series. But you know what? Yeah, I start to wonder if it gets in a driver's head at that point when you know you're good and you just don't win races and you go, man, I don't know. You start to second guess yourself, do different things, and reality just, it's that cycle when you're just going to have an off year, and it happens. I was looking at stats from a Cup driver earlier this year and noticed 1 year they're on, next year they're off. 1 year they're on, next year they're off. Now, the on and off was 3rd and 10th in the standings, but you have those up and down years.
Well, again, I mean, you have to consider, too, this is the Cars Tour, one of the most competitive tours in America, the Pro Late Models in its first year, but still one of the most competitive tours in America. As you can see, Austin McDonald not going to give way to Fenhaus this easily here. As Fenhaus entering a little bit lower than McDonald, but McDonald still holding strong.
Yeah, Austin pretty impressive. He ran with us here last year in the Super Late Model Tour. Had a pretty good run, but if memory serves, had misfortune late. So Austin a big fan of tracks like this when you get a lot of grip. But he's got, the other thing too, he's got Jeff Fultz back with him this week. Fultzy's been busy running with the SRX and trying to keep that fleet of cars maintained. That's a 6-week grind if I ever saw one, the SRX Tour. But Fultzy is back and now helping to guide the ship over there with Austin McDonald and coming in and showing today, currently running in the 6th spot.
But Fenhaus still right there trying to keep speaking his nose in on the entry. Can't really get anything down right now. You have to wonder, he's probably not trying as hard now, trying to save a little bit of tire as there's still 85 laps to go in this thing. But meanwhile, William Sawalich up front, I mean, he's done what he's done all year. He's trying to walk away with this already.
Yeah, I mean, this is William Sawalich doing William Sawalich things. We joke about it in jest, but the fact is, as we mentioned earlier, to see somebody have this kind of season this early in their career and adapt to new tours and new cars so quickly, this is not very common. You see guys have bursts of success and flashes of brilliance. This is a long-running star of brilliance is what this is right now for William Sawalich. Brandon Setzer, Dennis Setzer calling the shots on that Ford Mustang. And again, for him to be able to get things done the way he has, winning races at the Pro Late Model level with us, winning races in Super Late Models across the country, and then nearly winning one of the biggest late model stock races of the season at the Throwback 276, and to run that race in the fashion in which he did, even though he finished second, gained a lot of respect, and I think turned a lot of heads. And man, to see this kid do this early in his career, that's bad news if you're racing against him in the next 40 years, because he's going to be good for a long time to come.
Oh, no doubt about it. As you see here, Fenhaus again still working on McDonald. McDonald like a kidney stone, but Fenhaus is finally going to get under McDonald. McDonald trying to hold strong on the outside.
He kind of just floated the car in that time, looked like. Maybe just kind of let Luke go on the inside. So move Luke Fenhaus now up to P6. Austin McDonald back to 7th. As now Fenhaus will give chase to Buddy Kofoid in that 24K. And by the way, if you're watching on social media, you got about 4 laps until we hit the button. 4 laps until we kill the free preview. Big race for the late model stocks coming up in this one. That'll be after this Pro Late Model feature, so you got plenty of time to head on over. The address on the bottom of your frame, www.carstour.tv. Check it out, become a subscriber, check out the Cars Tour for the rest of the season and all the cool stuff we've got. In addition to that is a Pit Row TV subscriber as well, including some dirt stuff we got coming up in the next handful of months and whatnot. Speaking of Buddy Kofoid and dirt, and look at that. Fenhaus, once he got around McDonald, he has reeled in Kofoid. You see he's opened up 6-7 car lengths on Austin McDonald.
Well, Fenhaus is just he's not waiting around everybody else trying to settle in, walk some laps early. Fenhaus is on attack mode right here from the initial green flag, looking to get around Buddy Kofoid here. Kofoid trying a little bit of a higher line, but Fenhaus making that lower line work. So now he's going to try to look under again, can't quite do it yet, but he's probably going to get around Kofoid here within the next lap or two.
And I notice Fenhaus, you see right there in the center, he's carrying a lot of speed through the center. And be curious to see if he can make his way to the front. Those of you watching on social media, check it out, www.carstour.tv. We already gave you an extra lap. Oops, sorry about that.